Hi, I'm Ava. Welcome to the Serenity series, a show where we explore our minds in order to enhance ourselves. Each week, we deep dive into a new topic with Paya Meta. Let's find out what this week's topic is.
So, today we're going to talk about love and what love means to all of us, and how can we
Ooh!
access the love that we have for ourselves first before we are so willing and so happy. And it's so easy for us to give it to everybody else around us, but not give it to ourselves. So, there was a
Mm.
very beautiful quote actually that I had read some time ago, which seems so relevant for our topic today. And it said, what
Mhm.
lies behind us and what lies ahead of us is small in comparison to what lies within us. And I think that is so beautiful and so true. We never see what's within us. We never want to recognize what's within us. We don't feel we have all the love that we have within us. And yet, somewhere we have enough love to give to everybody else, be it our family, our friends around us, people who need us, strangers who need us, we're able to give love to. But when it comes to giving love to ourselves, we find it really, really difficult to do, which then
Mm.
results in us having low self esteem, feeling abandoned, feeling rejected, feeling that we're not wanted, feeling we're not good enough, feeling self doubt, feeling nobody wants me, I don't know why I'm here, nobody sees me, nobody acknowledges me, and the whole gamut of emotions that come alongside with that.
Puts the brakes on whatever it is that you're doing, isn't it? Or you're
Absolutely.
after. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, how do we address that? And what I really wanted to talk about is what I really wanted to talk about is, you know, um, our task is not to seek love, but to seek the
Mm.
barriers within us that we have built against it. So there are many reasons why we feel unloved, why situations, experiences have made us feel that we are not loved. Maybe our love was not reciprocated. Maybe we
Mhm.
felt that we don't have the love to give because we haven't received it from our parents. A lot of those issues stem from childhood and not receiving the love from our parents, because as children, that is the only source of love that we know. So we are born out
Right.
of the love and the bond between our parents, but somewhere due to our parents' limitations and their own experiences with their
Hmm.
parents, we seem to carry a pattern that comes down where maybe the mother is unavailable, the father is doesn't know anything about love, and it comes down to us and it trickles down to us, and we start to live with that self belief because of the lack
Hmm.
of love that we have received maybe as children. But
Hmm.
love is something that is the most healing. The everything heals with love. Absolutely everything heals with love. That's the power of love. So
Mm.
love is something that, it gives us hope. It gives us hope even when we have been disappointed. It's love that will bring us through the disappointment. Love gives us, even at the time of betrayal, love is something that will bring about belief again in ourselves. Even when we feel that we have been hurt by somebody or something, it is love which will heal. So, love is something that is absolutely eternal within us, and it's always there when we want to access it. The problem comes when we have built a wall and a disconnect between ourselves and love, and knowing that we ourselves are love, because we never view ourselves that way. We always view ourselves as lesser, as not worthy of it, of a feeling of I can give it to everybody, but I can't give it to myself, because somewhere I haven't found myself important to give love to. And maybe I have at some point realized that and recognized that, but I still haven't been able to do that for myself.
Right.
Love is also
Application.
application, exactly. So it's not so everything that happens to us has a place and has a position, but what I decide to do with it is out of a love for myself. So do I decide to be the victim or the creator out of what is happening to me? Do I
Hmm.
decide to what am I interpreting from that exact situation? So am I deciding that I want to wallow in that self pity, or am I deciding that I would like to grow from what I've understood and love myself even more? 99.999% of the time, we're usually the victim mode. We're not in the let me see what I can create out of this. Yeah, because we're weak at that point when we've been struck in whatever way it is. And love comes in different forms. So it comes in the form of rejection, abandonment, betrayal, different things, and we hold that heavy in our hearts because it's something that we feel we can't let go of, we can't heal from it. And if we let go of it, we're forgetting about it. If we let go of
Right.
it, we're forgiving the other person, the they, whoever the they are that have, contributed to this pain and to this anxiety in my life. I'm somewhere setting them free. If I forgive, or if I feel that I want to love myself enough, I feel that I can't do it because I am condoning somebody else's behavior. But what
Right.
people don't understand is that love actually sets you free from that. When you do that
Mm.
forgiveness for yourself, when you do that acceptance for yourself, when you do that self realization for yourself, these are all different forms of love. I'm actually setting
Right.
myself free from all the trauma, all the baggage that I've taken on of whatever the other person has said or done, or what I perceive them to have done to me. And I'm allowing
Right.
myself to love myself when I'm letting go and I'm letting myself free of everything. So we're very used to following habitual reactive patterns. In fact, it's even a
Right.
chemical, it's like the chemical makeup of ourselves, that we are
Right.
comfortable in that behavioral pattern. We are comfortable in that same emotion, in that same thought, in that same of, oh no, but this, it's because of them, or it's because of that situation, or it's because of that something in the universe that came to upset me. It could be, some people even feel that they're not even loved by God. So that's also a larger perspective of, I'm being punished. I don't know why I've been the chosen one to go through all of this. Everybody else is fine. So to understand that these are all disempowering. Every time we're giving our power away to somebody to take what we think that they have taken away a part of us, we've actually given them a power of us. So not only a person, it can be a situation as well. Everything
Mm-hmm.
comes to us having the choice to bring it back to us and to take responsibility for it. When I'm taking
Right.
responsibility, so now you would obviously ask the question that if you are um, telling me that somebody has done something to me, how am I responsible for it? What I
Mm.
have to, at this crucial point, ask the question to myself: do I want to be happy, or do I want to be right? If there comes to a question of asking the right question, to really focus
Got,
on, do I want to be happy or do I want to be right? What is more important to me at this point? When I'm hurting,
gotcha.
I want to be happy. When I'm hurting,
Right.
I want to heal. When I'm hurting, I want to understand what my own
Mm.
value is. So that person, that situation, that thing has come as a mirror in my life to make me recognize my own love for myself, or my lack of love for myself, or my disconnect of love within myself. All these three
Right.
things. So I'm understanding what I need to see within myself, because if I am whole, if I am complete, if I feel that I am confident, I know who I am, I'm true to myself, I'm living my truth, then whatever the other person is doing or saying, you recognize that as their perspective, coming from their understanding of their lives, coming from their maybe limited belief system. I'm no one to judge what that person is saying or doing. It's coming from his own environment, but it's not got to
Right.
do with me. It doesn't take away from who I am and what I am. The disconnect happens when I'm believing what that person is saying to me, and then I feel, yes, that person was right, or that situation was right, and it's because I wasn't worthy enough, I wasn't good enough, and all of this lack of worthiness, lack of self-respect, low self-esteem, all comes from the lack of love that we have for ourselves. We also we need to blame something or someone for what goes on with
Mm.
us. So there are two extremes that we do. We blame the they, whoever the they is, the situation, the person, whatever's happening, or we blame ourselves, and we go into this whole feeling of victimization where, oh, it was my responsibility, and you're blaming yourself, and we actually relish and continuously looking down on our lives and continuously thinking that, oh, I just wasn't worthy of it, and that's what happened to me, like I lacked this and I wasn't good enough, and that leads to us constantly wanting to apologize and constantly wanting to reach out to others and make others happy and want validation from others. So these are
Mm.
all byproducts of not loving ourselves enough. So not to say that we
Mm.
don't take responsibility for our actions, not to say that we don't apologize for where we feel that we have gone wrong. Those are very important things. But to also understand that we don't need to overcompensate. We overcompensate when we don't love ourselves enough. Yeah, so we
Mm.
overcompensate because we feel that if I give this much, this much, this much to everybody else, everybody will turn around and say, oh, Payal, you're so great. What an amazing friend you are, what a lovely daughter you are, and you're an amazing human being. And that validation is coming from somebody else. But if I have to look in the mirror, am I feeling any of those things about myself? Probably not. I'm probably thinking when I look at myself in the mirror that, oh God, I'm really not worthy of even this. Like, oh my God, they're actually praising me. People are not even comfortable receiving praise. And I used to be
It,
one of those people.
it doesn't sink in, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't sink in because somewhere you have to take responsibility for your own healing. And you have to be the one to make the commitment to solving that problem for you. So,
Right.
when we talk about love, we also talk about forgiveness.
Hmm.
Forgiveness comes from two parts. Forgiveness comes from our mind and forgiveness comes from our heart. So when it comes from our mind, it's coming from the ego that that person needs my forgiveness. But what if the other
Hmm.
person doesn't want your forgiveness? Other person's very happy. I mean, they moved on with their life and they're very happy with everything that they've done. And somewhere my
Hmm.
ego is saying, no, no, that person needs my forgiveness. But actually, the
Hmm.
person doesn't. And that hurts you even more because you feel that if I forgive that person, it'll be easier for them. But that's not true. That person's moved on with their life and they don't care whether you've forgiven them or not. Forgiveness starts with me forgiving myself first. And that is again coming back to love. When I love myself, I forgive myself. I forgive myself
Yes.
for whatever the error was. I forgive myself for whatever the mistake was. I forgive myself for whatever I felt I felt in my limited perception of that situation that I may not have fulfilled the role for what was meant to be. But when I understand that I voice that fear, it's me talking to myself, it's me accepting myself, it's me understanding and observing myself, it's me understanding what did I need to love more about myself to enable myself to know that whatever happened didn't happen because I lack, didn't happen because I wasn't good enough, didn't happen because I feel that there was a big gap between what was expected and what I did, and I didn't fulfill the expectation. So it's to really understand that I am making a choice. When I make a choice and I choose the choice of being happiness or being right, sometimes you can ask me, why can't we be both? Because sometimes situations come where we can't be both. We can't be happy and we can't be right. We choose to be either. And when we choose
Hmm.
that, you have to decide what it is that you want to choose. And when you make that choice after that, and most of us will choose to be happy because being right or wrong is very relative in every situation. But being happy is something that's eternal within us, right? It's a state of mind that I want to constantly crave to have within me. I want to be happy all the time, no matter what. So it's about making that decision that I'd like to be happy and then practicing it. So how do I practice it? It's by reflecting back onto your situation, reflecting back onto yourself in that situation, understanding maybe you could have done things differently, recognizing what you could have done differently, understanding where you want to change your pattern, what it is that you want, how you would like to change it, so to voice that fear and to take responsibility for yourself, to stand in front of a mirror, a simple exercise really, in the mirror, a mirror, if you don't want to do it in front of your family, in the bathroom, just in front of a mirror and say, I love myself, and just see how uncomfortable people feel doing that when they say that to themselves. Because when you say, I love myself, the first time I did it, I was just like, the first voice in my mind was like, you got to be crazy. Really? Like, what are you doing? It sounds mad. But if I'm telling myself I love myself, my first question was to myself, but what about yourself do you love? What are you even starting with? What is your starting point? What do you love? And it takes
Oh,
time
okay.
it takes time to think about it, because some people are at a stage where they don't love anything about themselves. So
Hmm.
when I started doing this exercise, I was at a very low stage in my life, and I looked at myself and I was like, I couldn't think of a single thing that I loved about myself. And then I just said to
Hmm.
myself, I love the fact that I have 10 toes, I have, fingers and toes. That's what I love about myself, because I couldn't think of anything else. So if there are other people who are in the same situation where they don't know what they love about themselves, haven't ever thought about what they love about themselves, can't come up with what they love about themselves, reach out to family, reach out to friends, ask them, because people see in you what you don't see in yourself. So recognize
Hmm.
that for yourself and see what it is, and recognize that, appreciate it, accept it. So if somebody says, oh Payal, I love the fact that you're generous, and I'm going to turn around and say, oh no, 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 I'm not generous, why did you even think of that? That in itself is non-acceptance, right? I'm not accepting the love
Right.
that somebody has seen in me, the quality that somebody has seen in me. I haven't seen it for myself and I'm rejecting it. So we
Hmm.
very often reject ourselves when we don't love ourselves. And when we reject ourselves, we stay in that mode of nothing can ever work out for me. So accepting ourselves and being in love with ourselves is the first part. It is only then that I can be fulfilled to fulfill every aspect of everything else.